Hello, everyone. This is Abigail Molina with Molina Law Group, where we freeze the fear of ICE by helping immigrants and their families arrive at a place of security and prosperity here in the U.S. Hola a todos, soy la abogada Abigail Molina con Molina Law Group, donde congelamos el miedo al ICE y ayudamos a inmigrantes y sus familias llegar a un lugar de seguridad y prosperidad aquí en los Estados Unidos. Thanks for being with me today. We are talking about DACA. The latest in DACA, and also some other applications that might benefit those who've been waiting on DACA or who maybe don't qualify for DACA. So we're going to review what is DACA, who qualifies, what's the latest news on DACA eligibility, and then also talk about special immigrant juvenile status for those who maybe are looking for an alternative to DACA. Entonces vamos a estar platicando hoy, gracias por estar con nosotros. El tema de hoy es sobre DACA, lo nuevo de DACA y también otras opciones para jóvenes que tienen menos de 21 años aquí en el estado de Oregon y muchos otros estados en los Estados Unidos también, para los que no califican para DACA o tal vez están buscando otra opción. Entonces estamos aquí para platicar de esos temas, explicar de nuevo quién califica para DACA, qué es el estatus de DACA en este momento y también platicar sobre la visa juvenil. So DACA, the latest on DACA is that there was information released that we should expect the final regulations for DACA to come out in August. So very, very soon. We've been waiting on this and weren't sure when exactly it was going to come out. About a year ago, the White House announced that they were going to begin the regulation process. A regulation is just a law that an agency puts out. So USCIS developed a law for DACA. So instead of an executive order that the original program was, it will now be an actual law. So it has to go through this long process to become a regulation, which is why I'm sure President Obama didn't do it in the beginning. It's easier just to say something instead of going through the process, which now has taken about a year to go through that process. But we just heard this week that it is expected that it will finalize in August and finally come out. So what will that mean? Well, we already know what that regulation is proposed to look like, and it's basically the same as the original program. We were hoping that there might be some extension for people, for new people, or more dates to be included, but it's essentially just a law for that same program. So the basics for DACA are that you must have entered the U.S. before June 15th, 2007. At that time, you needed to be under the age of 16. You must now be at least 15 to apply. And you had to have shown that you've been here since that time you entered, except maybe some short trips for humanitarian purposes outside the US. And you have to show that you have either graduated high school or in a GED program in high school now, or that you have gotten your GED. So those are some of the requirements. Also, you have to show that you have a clean criminal history. There's some exceptions allowed for minor crimes and a number of minor things. So if you are eligible for that, you probably already have DACA. Most people took advantage when the program came out in 2012, but some people didn't. And so they've kind of been caught up in this now on again, off again program of DACA, where some courts have been processing some lawsuits against the DACA program, and so put partial things on hold. The latest on DACA has been that since last year, no new DACA applications are being received, only renewals. We're hopeful that with the regulations coming out in August, we expect that new applications will be processed again. Maybe you applied last year after the Supreme Court ruling and the government was forced to start taking new applications. Many people applied. hadn't gotten approved before last summer when the applications were put on hold again. So maybe that's you. We have several clients like that have been waiting, wondering when it'll start. We're hopeful that when the regulation comes out in August, that USCIS will once again start processing those applications. So we've been encouraging people, if you haven't applied for DACA and you're eligible for DACA, we encourage you to put your applications in. Get them processed, get in line. Basically, there's already a long line waiting since last year for the cases to start getting processed again. So if that's you, make sure that you contact us today, 541-653-8899. We give a free review of your case, a discovery call to make sure that you're eligible. We'd love to get that application ready and submitted. They are being received, just not processed. So you can get your case in line, won't be rejected. It'll just be there waiting for when the regulation goes into effect. Entonces, estamos platicando hoy sobre casos de DACA. Lo nuevo de DACA ahorita es que estamos esperando, habían anunciado de que en agosto van a estar presentando la ley de DACA. Es una regulación. ¿Qué es una regulación? Es una ley de la agencia de una agencia en los Estados Unidos. Entonces, una regulación de USCIS sobre los casos de DACA. Este proceso empezó hace un año cuando la Corte hizo un orden diciendo que ya no se puede procesar casos nuevos de DACA. Entonces, el gobierno, el presidente Biden, empezó el proceso largo de hacer una ley de DACA y ya mero dijeron que para agosto van a estar anunciando la ley final. Ahora, ya sabemos qué se va a decir, porque por parte del proceso de hacer una ley es anunciar qué es lo que quieren hacer, recibir comentarios y luego tomar en cuenta los comentarios antes de presentar su ley final. Entonces, sabemos ya que va a ser más o menos igual el programa que anunció Obama en 2012. Entonces, ¿quién va a calificar? Pues esperábamos que iban a ser más personas calificando, pero debido a que va a ser igual al programa original, va a ser lo mismo. Entonces, personas que entraron antes del 15 de junio de 2007, que tenían menos de 16 años en esa fecha y cuando entraron el país tenían menos de 16 años, que ya se graduaron o están en la escuela o están estudiando para su GED o recibieron su GED, y también que no tienen ciertos delitos, casos penales. Entonces, estas son las personas que califican para DACA y esto es lo que esperamos que va a hacer, empezar de nuevo en agosto cuando salen con la regulación final. Ahora, muchas personas ya tienen su caso en proceso. Casos, porque hace un año la Corte hizo un orden diciendo que solamente inmigración puede procesar renovaciones y no aplicaciones nuevas. Entonces, esperamos con esta regulación nueva que se va a poder procesar los casos iniciales. Entonces, las personas que entregaron su solicitud el año pasado y estaban esperando una aprobación mientras salió el orden de la Corte amparando esa oportunidad, esas personas van a ser los primeros para recibir proceso cuando sale la regulación final. Otras personas ahora pueden entregar su solicitud de DACA y estar adentro en la fila para recibir proceso. Y eso es lo que recomendamos, que hemos estado recomendando, aunque todavía no están procesando. Esperamos en agosto que se va a poder procesar de nuevo y las personas que ya están adentro van a recibir proceso primero. Entonces, si usted califica para DACA o cree que califica para DACA, llámanos al 541-653-8899. Ofrecemos un proceso completamente gratuito para revisar su situación, a ver si califica para DACA o otro tipo de caso. Es completamente gratuita y así se puede saber si debe de estar solicitando ya o no. So we are talking about DACA. The latest is that in August, we expect final regulations to come out that will allow all initial cases to be processed. Many people have been waiting. They already filed, but due to a court order, those applications have not been able to be approved yet. We expect that those will get processed first, and then many people will begin to apply. But you can actually apply now because USCIS is receiving those applications, holding on to them until they're allowed to begin processing again, which we expect will happen in August once the final regulations come out. All right, other options available aside from DACA, because we always talk about that DACA has been, a good enough program. It's not been a great program because it doesn't have a pathway to citizenship. So anytime that I talk with someone who's eligible for DACA, we also look at other options, other ways to get to citizenship, to get to residency, because DACA has been such an unstable program. And it's better than nothing, of course, but it's not great. And so we always look at what are some other options. And so in the state of Oregon, and many other states as well. So if you're in another state, you can also contact us and we would be happy to check that state as well. But in Oregon, as of September of last year, we now have special immigrant juvenile status available for those who are up to the age of 21. So it used to cut off at 18, but now due to a special legislation that went through in the fall, if you are up to the age of 21 and you have been abused, abandoned, or neglected by one or both of your parents, and it's not safe for you to return to your home country, then you can be eligible for a green card. That's permanent residency. And then later, after 5 years, you can be eligible for citizenship. So that's a much better form of status than DACA. Of course, you might have DACA as well in the meantime to have a work permit while you're in process for your green card. But this other special immigrant visa status is much, much better than DACA, and is something that's available for people who are up to the age of 21. So maybe you don't qualify for DACA, or maybe you've been told you don't qualify for DACA, but this is something new since September of 2021. So we'd encourage you to call us today to talk about whether or not you might qualify for this and how to get your green card as soon as possible. Again, you can call us at 541-653-8899. Entonces, el programa de DACA, no todos pueden calificar para DACA, pero aún los que califican para DACA, siempre estoy platicando con ellos para ver si hay otra opción mejor. Porque el DACA, aunque pues es un programa bueno, más o menos, pero no es algo que se puede convertir en residencia o ciudadanía. Entonces, no es un paseo a la ciudadanía lo que queremos para los Dreamers. Entonces, lo que quería platicar ahorita es sobre el visa para jóvenes especial. Entonces, es para jóvenes aquí en el estado de Oregon hasta la edad de 21 años. Hay otros estados también donde se puede hacer hasta el 21 años, pero muchas es solamente hasta los 18. Aquí en Oregon sí fue hasta los 18, pero desde septiembre de 2021. Ya nuevo, se puede solicitar la residencia por medio de ser un hijo abandonado o maltratado o abusado. Entonces, esas personas pueden, siempre digo que lo malo se puede convertir en algo bueno, aprovechar de algo que sufrió, puede calificar para una residencia y luego en el futuro, después de 5 años con la residencia, puede solicitar la ciudadanía. Entonces, esto es una manera de llegar a un estatus mucho más estable que el DACA, y eso es lo que recomendamos. Nos encantaría revisar su situación a ver si califica para ese visa de jóvenes muy especial. llámanos al 541-653-8899. 541-653-8899. So as we're talking about DACA, also wanted to talk about special immigrant juvenile status because during the months of July and August, as we are expecting these changes to be announced for DACA, and also due to these new benefits for youth up to the age of 21 to get their green cards here in Oregon, and many, many other states as well across the nation, we are excited to offer a special 10% discount to all the cases dealing with youth. So DACA, special immigrant juvenile, maybe you have a parent that recently received status and can now apply for you. If you're under the age of 21, this special discount for the months of July and August will apply to you. So call us today to start your free discovery process, 541-653-8899. Entonces, para el mes de julio y agosto queremos celebrar los jóvenes aquí en la comunidad y en todas partes del país. Si usted tiene menos de 21 años o tiene un hijo que es menos de 21 años, queremos ofrecerle un descuento especial de 10% para cualquier caso que se trata de DACA o de visa juvenil especial, o tal vez tiene como un padre o madre que es ciudadano residente que puede solicitarle. Esto también va a ser bajo el descuento de 10%. Entonces, llámanos al 541-653-8899 para poder aprovechar de ese descuento especial. Solo para los meses de julio y agosto. Estamos en el año 2022. So thank you so much for being with us today. Thanks for listening to this important information about DACA and special immigrant visa for juveniles. Please feel free to pass on this information, pass around these videos so that others who might qualify for this can hear about the services that we offer and we can help as many people as possible. We really want to make sure that this information gets out to as many people as possible, not just here in Oregon, but we also serve immigrants across the country. Entonces, por favor, comparte ese video con los demás, porque queremos que todos sepan sobre las noticias de DACA y de casos de visa juvenil, porque queremos ayudar a todos los jóvenes aquí en la comunidad, no solamente aquí en Oregon, pero en todas partes del país. Entonces, por favor, comparte el video y lo agradecemos mucho. Thanks so much for being with us today. We look forward to talking with you again soon. We'll be back as soon as there are updates in immigration law. We hope that you're having a great start to your summer. Happy 4th of July, and please celebrate safely. Entonces, vamos a estar con ustedes de nuevo muy pronto. Esperamos que pase un feliz 4 de julio, Día de Independencia, que estén pasándolo con familia y que estén seguros en sus casas. Cuidado con los fuegos, ¿no? Careful with those fireworks, y'all. And we look forward to talking with you very soon. Thanks again, and take care.